Autoline Daily is brought to you by Bridgestone, passion for excellence.
Here are today's top headlines. More details about the Volkswagen-Porsche alliance emerge, Ford battles industrial espionage, and BMW pioneers a greener metal casting process. Up next, we'll be back with the news behind the headlines. This is Autoline Daily for Friday, October 16th, 2009. I'm Kate Linebaugh from the Wall Street Journal, sitting in for round two as host of Autoline Daily. And now, today's news. For some time, we've known that Volkswagen is trying to acquire Porsche. Now we're learning just how they plan to do it, and it sounds about as complicated as one of those Porsche double-clutch transmissions. In a story from our bureau in Frankfurt, Germany, the Wall Street Journal is reporting that VW will ask shareholders to approve the sale of 135 million new, non-voting preferred shares. That's expected to raise 10 billion euro, or just under $15 billion. Volkswagen is taking this extraordinary step to both maintain its financial flexibility as well as protect its credit rating during this complex merger. The shareholders will meet in about a month and a half, December 3rd to be precise, and we'll let you know what happens then. As you might have seen on last night's weekly webcast, Autoline After Hours, an alleged industrial spy was caught yesterday in Chicago. Mike Yu, a former Ford Motor Company engineer, was arrested at O'Hare Airport as he tried to re-enter the country from China. A federal indictment says he copied confidential Ford documents and took them with him when he left in 2007 for a subsidiary of a Taiwanese electronics company. He's accused of using the materials to try to obtain a job with a Chinese company. Why he returned to America at this point is not known. However, it's no mystery the penalties he's looking at: up to 15 years in prison and as much as a $500,000 fine. By the way, Ford says it's cooperating with authorities on the continuing investigation. Speaking of China, its largest automaker, SAIC, is in talks with its partner General Motors about expanding its business. According to Reuters, SAIC is interested in taking a stake in General Motors' Indian operations and deepening their ties elsewhere. No details yet on what else they might do. SAIC and GM jointly produce Cadillac, Buick, and Chevy models in China. Next year, BMW's foundry in Landshut, Germany, will be the first in the world capable of doing emission-free sand core casting. The company is switching from organic to inorganic binders, the stuff that holds the sand together. That will reduce combustible emissions by 98%. As a bonus, this new process should result in stronger parts and lower energy consumption. Before, tools used in the casting process had to be blasted with dry ice after each use to remove combustion residue, but not anymore. Right now, BMW's Landshut facility produces around 1.8 million aluminum and magnesium castings each year and is poised to be the first in the world to use this process in volume production. Ahead of next week's Tokyo Motor Show, photos of Toyota's FT-86 concept have hit the web. According to Autoblog, the sporty four-seat two-door is the result of collaboration between the Big T and Subaru. The car is expected to have a 2-liter boxer engine with around 200 horsepower and all-wheel drive. No surprise there, since it's based on the Impreza platform. The FT-86 is unusually stylish for a Toyota, and it may make good on President Akio Toyoda's pledge to make cars that are fun to drive. We'll keep you posted as we learn more. While they do work, speed bumps are extremely annoying. That's why Mexican company Decano Industries is developing what they call smart speed bumps. According to USA Today, the speed bumps will retract into the ground if the driver is going the speed limit or slower. If not, the bump will remain up. Each bump is made of 2 plates that stick up to form a triangle and a sensor that measures the force of the impact of the vehicle. The device doesn't use electricity, costs $1,500 to install, and will last about 10 years. Pretty innovative way to reward people for following the speed limit. Coming up next, a preview of this week's episode of Autoline Detroit. We'll be back right after this.
Changing tires out here could be dangerous, but with these tires, I don't need to worry.
Bridgestone.
On this week's installment of Autoline, John McElroy sits down with Dr. Alan Taub, GM's Vice President of Global Research and Development. Joining in the discussion are Paul Eisenstein of thedetroitbureau.com and Sam Abul-Samid of Autoblog. In the following clip, Dr. Taub talks about how the company continues to invest in advanced battery technology for the Chevy Volt, as well as how it's continuing to push hydrogen as a future fuel.
I need a hydrogen infrastructure, but I don't need a hydrogen filling station at every house and every car. Here I need an infrastructure. In the end, I have to bring the plug to within 5 feet of the vehicle. So both of these require an infrastructure to be built. We're going out with the Volt first because for the beginning of the infrastructure, it's there. But not everybody has a plug. And by the way, there'll be the question of, is the consumer going to opt for a 110 or a 220 charge? And the fact is, on hydrogen, we've been working with some of the energy companies, fuel filling stations here. And our analyses with those partners is that to get the beginning of the infrastructure in a few cities with enough stations to get in between cities, it's a manageable investment.
If you like what you saw or just want to learn more about some of the advanced technology GM is working on, you can watch the entire episode of Autoline on our website. Okay, it's Friday, and that means it's time to announce our weekly trivia winner. We challenged you to another installment of Name That Car, and here it is. It looks like a Suzuki, but it's not. It's actually the Daihatsu ES concept, which stands for EcoSmart. As always, we picked the winner's name from random from all the correct answers, and the lucky person is John Malone from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Congratulations, John. You've just won this lovely Eyes on Design poster. Anyway, that's it for today's top news in the global automotive industry. Again, I'm Kate Linebaugh from the Wall Street Journal. Thanks for watching, and have a great weekend.
If you like the up-to-the-minute auto news and analysis you get from Autoline Daily, tell the world by voting for us as Best Business Podcast in the 2009 Podcast Awards. Just go to www.podcastawards.com and enter Autoline Daily in the business category. When it asks for a URL, type in autolinedaily.com. The voting period is only open for a few short days, so go to podcastawards.com and vote now. Every voice counts, and we'd appreciate your help. Thank you for your support.